Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, coming here live for another love circle. And today we are talking about how to let go of control. Now, I can tell you this thing that we have more stress and anxiety and fear in our life because we are trying to practice control in all those areas, in all the different areas of our life without even realizing it. So when we learn the skill to let go of control, and yes, it is the inner skill that you're going to learn today. Once we learn that, practice that, embody it, your life feels very easy. It feels like you are in flow and you are going to experience a very, very reduced amount of stress. Uh, the stress and the fear that if you are experiencing it all the time, as if somebody's running after you, you're going to stop experience that, or it is going to be much less than it is right now. So let's get right into it. What is control? But first we want to understand, what is it? That is my need to control or predict what an outcome needs to be and just be stuck with that. It needs to be this way. It has to be this way. Why it's not that way? Why this person is not that way? That's how control looks like in practice. Understanding, why do I even need that? Why everything needs to go according to my plan or how I thought? Why does it need to go that? Because it fulfills one of our basic human need, and that is need to be certain, to be safe. So if I can predict, oh, this is how my kid is going to behave, and my kid better behave that, and when my kid will behave the way I wanted them to, I feel certain, I feel safe, I feel comfortable. Well, when I am practicing control in this way, what I have done, I have taken away the freedom from my child. My child has not been able to express who they wanted to be. In order for me to feel safe, they had to bend their ways. So it's almost like we are damaging other people when we are practicing control. I know that is a big word, but that's exactly what we are doing. When we want others to be who we need them to be for us to feel better, we are taking away their free will. We are violating their rights. And that could be a stranger, that could be a child, that could be your spouse, that could be your parents, your family, your friend, whoever you're struggling with. But we are taking away their rights, which we are not supposed to do that. According to the laws of the universe, anyone can live the way they want to live. If I will take away somebody's rights, that's not more life. One of the laws of the universe is life is for more life. Everything is for more life. But control at this level is not for more life. So that is the foundation we are starting this conversation on. So first, understanding where control even comes from. A child, if you look at a very little baby, they don't try to control anything. They don't say, hey, by the way, all of you guys, you need to talk in a lower volume, but because here I am trying to concentrate on my playing and it's disturbing me. A child doesn't do that because a child is born on nature. They don't have that built in yet. When it becomes absolutely necessary for us to feel in control and safe at all times, it is a trauma response. That means at some point in our childhood, we did not feel safe. And in order to feel safe, we created another behavior pattern. So whenever we don't feel safe, we can lean on it. And when we can lean on it, that is when, world becomes normal again for us. So that leaning on that control even could be something that is detrimental for us. It could be like, addiction for various kind of stuff, including food. It also could be a very loud inner criticism that started to make us feel in control. So control is a big umbrella and there's so many things underneath it. But I just want to scratch the surface and say, the need to be in control comes from unhealed trauma, and it can be healed and you can release it. What we are going to do today, I'm going to teach you very, like, small steps you can do right now in this moment to start managing it. So your life is not getting ruined by the need to be in control, where you can't even, feel peaceful or joyful or happy because you have to just control everything that is going on around you at all times. That can be very exhausting. And when we lose so much energy just trying to keep control in our environment, we are not using that energy for nurturing our body, repairing our body, and long term, it end up in all kind of diseases. So the next thing we want to talk about, that why do we even have this need? We did talk about there is linked to childhood trauma. So let's say right now, let's say you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, and you need someone to behave certain way. It has to do on multiple levels. It's psychological, it's physical. Your physical nervous system has been programmed, has been wired certain way, and it's looking for that familiar. And also there's a spiritual component to it too. So right now, if you feel like somebody threw their clothes on the floor, you're just like, why? This person keeps doing that. I tell them so many times. So that is your nervous system that needs to see the environment clean. Those are your physical senses. They need that predictability in your environment. And that's why it starts getting edgy. You start getting frustrated, and then you just feel like, doing something to that person, and then the anger goes high. But it doesn't get anywhere because the other person doesn't change, and you repeat the same thing the next week or the next day. But understanding it's your nervous system that needs that. So as we are shifting it, we need to do something for your nervous system that would make you feel safe in that moment. So let's talk about when this need for control does become a problem. So one thing I want to mention here, wanted to come closer. One thing I want to mention here, not all control is bad. We all have a need to feel safe. At some point, somewhere where you're living, you want to feel safe. So you can focus on what your purpose is and not really be bothered by, oh, is someone gonna, come through the door, or someone is gonna come and, steal your stuff or mess up your stuff. Those are all just natural, normal things. We are talking about control when it starts to overtake your life, when it becomes so big that you can't even breathe, when it becomes so big that you can't even live your potential. Because the opposite of control is, you don't have any control. Everything is unknown. You're stepping into the unknown, and that's where your true potential is. You have no idea what it is. You're just walking towards that with curiosity, and you want to live that life. So that, like, entering into, I would just say, in that dimension of being, we have to let go of control. We have to leave the fears out the door. Only then we can enter there and we can truly feel, oh, that's what I came here to do. That is what I'm going to do. I have no idea how tomorrow is going to be, but I am going to still keep moving forward. So there's no fear there. And control cannot be your friend, because when we try to bring control, we are trying to predict the future. This is how it should be, it needs to be for me to feel safe. But the path I'm talking about, you're just walking blindly with faith and belief that everything is going to work out. So it's a very different level of being. Just to wrap it all together, the reason we would like to move beyond control, or at least the pathological control that we get into sometime, so we can connect with our purpose, our desire, and why we are here, and step into that. Because that does not look like 4-year or 6-year degree from a college and a guaranteed job. That is something completely different. The rules are different, everything works different. You would only know the first step, one step at a time. When you get to that one step, the next one will appear. It's a complete stepping into the unknown. So if that is something you truly desire and something is pulling on you, that I do want to get to that level, then we have to let go of control. Or we have to do the work, everyday work, to get to that level. So now we are getting into this, checking if I said everything right. There, we are getting into what control does for us so control is a behavior. What is feeding that behavior? It's fear of unknown, it's fear of change. So when kids start to, I'm using kids example because being a parent, you learn what control is. If you were never controlling before, you do become a very controlling helicopter parent because there is a fear for your child's safety. There's so many fears that you come across when you become a parent, or when you have something so precious, even when you have a pet, or when you're taking care of your parents. The kind of fears that come out of you, you would have never seen those before, because now you want to be in control. So the driving force is fear of the unknown. And the top is the behavior of control. So if you say to yourself, I'm so controlling, I am so this, I'm so that, what are you so afraid of? That is the next question you ask yourself. What is it that I am so afraid of? Once you know that fear, and it would very possibly be fear of the unknown, fear of change, then we can work with that. Otherwise, you just label yourself, I'm a control freak, and that's it. I used to call myself that. I used to be that. Every now and then, I do find myself trying to control the situation, trying to have a conversation in my head. This is what they are going to say. This is what I'm going to say. Like, the conversation is going to happen a year from today or a month from today, but I am using my energy to have that conversation. So sometimes it does take time to even recognize what's going on within me, because all these things that goes on within us, they are sucking our energy. If I am not having the conversation today, if I am not in the conversation right now, I don't need to be thinking about it. But that is what we get to have or achieve when we do let go of control. And another thing I want to talk about just in the section before we get to how to get rid of it is, there is a physical response and there is a psychological response when we are seeking control in a situation. And as we talked about, there are neurons, nervous system that going all over your body, and you have always practiced it. Whenever you saw something dirty, you yelled at somebody else because you wanted them to be a different way, but you've been doing it every single day and they haven't changed and you haven't changed. But your nervous system is used to that. It's used to behaving in that way. So it's physically part of you. You cannot just think out of it. You have to do things with touch to change your neurons, your neural pathways as well. Yes, it does start from thinking, but recognizing you cannot just think yourself out of it. Just to give you an example, have you ever decided that your diet is starting from Monday and you're not going to eat any dessert? And then Monday went really well, Tuesday went really well, by Wednesday, somebody brought dessert to you and you had no control over your body and you just went for it, ate it, of course, felt guilty afterwards. But that process where you had no control over your body, because that is physically ingrained in you, that behavior. So the same way, when we are trying to practice control, it's physical, it's psychological. Psychological part is it's the way we think about that situation. If the thoughts are being fed by the fear, we are always going to be try to be in control. So the real thing we have to work with, if you want to be on the other side, 100% releasing, recognizing it, and not getting controlled by the need to be in control. If you want that complete transformation, then you have to work on being fearless, or working with your fear in a way where it doesn't control you anymore. And that requires creating inner safety, where you feel safe within you, that you don't have, like, nobody or nothing outside of you needs to change for you to feel safe within you. I have done videos on both of them. If you need that, if you're watching it on YouTube, you can just search those on my channel. If you need that, anybody, please reach out to me. I'll find the link and I'll share them with you, because that is where you're going to get to a level where you're 100% free. Now, let's get into how to let go of control. One point I forgot to mention, it's also spiritual too. When we are, so it's physical, psychological, and spiritual. When I am trying to control my surrounding, I am disconnected with my soul. Because if I'm connected with my soul, I will not be trying to control everything, because I would be accepting of a deeper truth, of a higher truth. And we're going to talk about it when we go through how to let go of control. So far we got that the need to be in control, start from childhood trauma. You're just trying to control everybody else, everything or everybody else around you so we can feel safe. And it is embedded physically, psychologically, and also spiritually. So we have to create the change on all three levels. You cannot just wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what, I'm just going to think different way. That's why when I hear people say, like, you know, I'm just going to be mindful. Yes, you can be mindful, and then your body's going to act one way. And then we go into a whole spiral. But if we work on all three levels, we change the way you think, we acknowledge my body is going to change too. So when your body throws a fit, having tools to deal with that, and also nurturing a different level of spiritual connection. If you do all three, your transformation is going to be much faster than just trying to think your way out of things. Okay, now let's get into how to let go of control. First of all, understand that control is an illusion. Now, this is the second foundation we are laying down. Control is an illusion. I think I can control somebody is one of the biggest illusions. No one can control anybody. Here's the reason. I am a force of nature. You are a force of nature. My child is a force of nature. My cat is a force of nature. You cannot control natural force. Ever tried controlling a river? Like really tried, like, you know, standing in front of a river and be like, I'm gonna try to control you. It's another thing. Build a dam while there's no water, and then reroute the water to meet the dam. And then, you know, you go from there. But if you are standing in front of a natural stream of water on its own course and you're trying to control it, most likely you'll be the one getting damaged or even killed. So that is the truth about each and every one of us, whether we are aware of that oneness with God or the presence of God within us or not, but we still are a force of nature. We are still that power in action. No one can control us. People can be in an illusion that they can control us. We can be in an illusion that someone can control me, but I am letting that person control. I am giving them permission. So at the end of the day, it's me controlling me, not anybody else. So I can never control anybody. That is the biggest illusion that we have been fed, that you can even mold your child. Yes, you can provide your child with all kinds of opportunities, but at the end of the day, it's their choice who they are going to choose to be. Because the force that is within them, it is going to take its own shape, and there's nothing you can do to control it. So let's start with that. Now, let's go into the physical thing. So physically, what you need to do when you feel like you need to control somebody, generally pay attention to it. You will have a fear-based physical response. When something around you is not working out and you're like, oh my God, it all need to change. Your heart rate is going to increase. You're shifting into the sympathetic nervous system, fight and flight response. Your hands are getting like, little shaky and maybe sweaty, and you might be feeling something in your stomach. That is your body's fear response that is happening in that moment because you're not feeling in control. So first we need to take care of your body. First, we need to send your body a signal, hey, everything is okay. Nobody's in danger. Nobody's running after me. So just take your hand, put it on your lower back, because what we are doing, we are increasing the energy center, like the basic chakra, we are making it bigger. You can even breathe from there. When you breathe from there, you bring your awareness from here to there. Wherever breath goes, energy goes. You're taking the energy to your lower back. That is what you're doing. And what it's going to do, it's going to send a signal to your nervous system, everything is good. Because when your basic chakra is expanding, you have that power, that will, or that push to act how you want to act. And your lower brain is not going to control you. So it's lower back. You can make it even more powerful by putting one hand on your heart and one hand on your lower back. We are taking over our physiology right now by just doing it. And just breathe 3 breaths or 10 breaths, whatever it takes for you. So your body calm down, because that is the most important part. If your body's not calm, you can't even get here. You cannot even get to the reasoning or the logic or any of the faculties of your higher brain. You cannot get to them because body always wins. It goes into survival. Surviving is more important than trying to ask yourself questions back and forth. So first we would try to take care of it on a physical level. Now the second is psychological level. That is where we start asking questions. Your mind might be going in a spiral like this. What if this happened? What if this happened? What if that happened? When you engage your higher brain and when you ask a question, you stop that train of thought. And that part of your mind have no choice but to give you an answer. And when it pauses to give you an answer, everything has shifted. It's just like, if a kid is running around and they are creating chaos, and all of a sudden you're like, it's ice cream time. Everybody comes to the kitchen, they have quiet down, and you're like, okay, I could have done it 10 minutes ago, because that they cannot help but run for that thing and actually calm down. So the same thing happens with our mind. So one question you can ask when you're going into what if scenarios, what else is possible? We want to go towards possibility because that is where we completely shut off the stress response. We don't want to be in the fight mode or flight mode or a fear response. We want to be what else is possible. Yes, right now I'm thinking if this doesn't happen, that would happen. Well, what else can happen? What else is possible? So when you will start going into the possibility, there is a very big chance that you will be able to start focusing on other positive outcomes as well. Instead of all the fear-based outcomes, some of the faith-based outcome will start to come to your mind. And if your mind is telling you some story, you can just ask it, what is the truth in this? If it's telling you about another person, oh, this person is like this person is like that, oh my God, they're so different, I cannot control them, my safety is in danger. Just ask yourself, what is the truth in this? And if you don't really get an answer, ask yourself, am I absolutely sure that what I'm thinking is true? Am I absolutely sure that what I'm thinking is true? If you ask yourself these 3 questions, you can ask these very quickly, but your whole physiology is going to change. Your mind is going to change. Like, what's going on in your mind, because you have completely shifted the direction it's going in. that is when you feel empowered. You just took all the power back. And now whatever is happening outside of you does not have any power over you because you got hold of your physiology. You got hold of your psychology. No one else can control you now. These are very, very simple things, but they have powerful outcomes in your life. And it is something very easy to do once you make the decision to do it. It's not hard. So the next thing I'm going to suggest we all do, and that is where we can truly start to move into a fearless space, or at least be in a space where fear is not controlling us anymore, creating the change at a spiritual level. Now, at a spiritual level, whether you believe in spirituality or not, we all came here as divine beings in this body. We are having this experience. So whether you believe in all that or you're like, okay, once I die, everything will end. So we will work with both scenarios, but I will teach you my version first. So we are these divine beings that came in this physical body. And when we came, we call it a soul contract. We knew exactly what we are getting into. We knew exactly the kind of challenges we will have. We knew who are the people who would help us through those challenges. Like they would be the one who would be the one giving us hard time so we can develop to the level that we want to develop. So right now, whatever is happening, it's a play or it's a movie that has already been written. And now you're just walking the path without knowing that you're in a movie. But you're walking the path thinking you can control things, but they have already been controlled by a different power that is more spiritual than physical. It's more like, if divine created a plan for you, you approved of it before you came here. So right now, even if you just got laid off from a job, you're just thinking, how in the world am I going to provide for myself? Something has already lined up for you. Something is already lined up. If in that moment you can believe that, okay, it's all plan of the part of a big plan, something is already lined up for me that is going to be definitely better than what has gone. You'll see very, very quickly you'll have that job. Or you can worry, get sick, get hospitalized, still you'll see you'll get that job. We all have had those experiences where we worried like no tomorrow. And then at the end of the day, everything worked out. And then we're just like, okay, why did I worry? So worry is also a way of trying to gain control. And a healthy dose of worry is okay, but when it starts to make us sick, that is what we want to change. So every path that you're walking, it's already been laid out. So you're not controlling it, another force is controlling it. And you can always course correct. That's the second piece. You can, because humans have free will. We can change the direction where I want to go. So for example, and this is how we do it. For example, you got laid off. One of the laws of the universe is that life is always for more. When you lose something, that means something better is coming, because life is always for more. The next thing would be definitely more. So you can just believe in that and stay with that, or you can worry over here. The way you course correct, when you believe in that, the way you think, you can even be like, okay, I know the next job is coming. What else I can create right now? So that is how you're course correcting. You're even creating opportunities for yourself because you know something better is coming. So you can enhance your experience to a very different level. That is course correction. That is a real form of control, where you ask yourself, what do I want? And go create it, because you know creative forces within you. And the last point that under the spirituality I want to talk about, everything is always working out for you. Because we don't realize how much help we have around us that's invisible, how much help is given to us that is bringing everything together, even our higher self. Our higher self, a little part of it comes into the physical body to make it alive, but our higher self is right here talking to us. Hey, go here, go there, do this, do that. But if we are so worried about controlling outside of us that we are not even spending any time being inside of us, in our body, feeling, hearing what our higher self is talking to us, if we are not even doing that, then we're not going to hear it. Not going to hear it, and we'll be like, okay, I am, scared. I am going through this. I'm going through that. But all the help is right here, right next to us. But it's invisible because we came from a world where, there was no matter like that. And that is the world we were going to go back. So now for a person who does not believe in any of that, or even the universe, you can connect just with the force that keeps you alive. It's very easy. Put your hand on your finger, like your finger on your pulse. See that force? You feel it? It's always going to be here for you. That could be your form of spirituality if that feels safe right now. If expanding to the level where I was talking about, if that doesn't feel safe right now, you can just feel this. Hey, there's a force within me. It's always going to be here. I don't need to try to control other people. I just need to be in touch with that. And that's it. It's one of my favorite things to do. So once I put my hand here, I feel a very deep connection. It's hard for me to let go of that. Okay, so we are coming to an end. Just to wrap up the whole thing, we went through what control really is, and then how to let go of control. First is understanding that control is an illusion. Take care of it physically, take care of it psychologically, work on these spiritual principles, really ponder on them, meditate on them. The more they grasp root within you, they become part of you, the easier it's going to become to let go of that level of control. So that is all for today. If this is something you're ready to work on, reach out to me, and we can schedule a call, and I would love to take you all the way to your true self, where you can feel that you don't need to control anybody, where you can feel that sense of safety within you at all times. So that is all for today. Sending you all love. Bye.